Buckle up, horror fans. The shocking finale of The Conjuring Last Rites packs a punch with cameos that feel like a supernatural family reunion. And it's got everyone buzzing about whether this is truly the end of an era. Dive into the exclusive behind-the-scenes scoop, and you might just reconsider everything you know about wrapping up a blockbuster series. But here's where it gets controversial. Could this overload of familiar faces make or break the franchise's future? Stick around to find out what director Michael Chaves revealed, and let's dissect why this wedding scene is more than just a pretty party. As a friendly reminder, this piece is loaded with spoilers for The Conjuring Last Rites, so proceed with caution if you haven't seen it yet. Picture this. The film dives into the chilling case that inspired the on-screen adventures of paranormal experts Ed Warren, played by the incredible Patrick Wilson, and Lorraine Warren, brought to life by Vera Farmiga. Yet, despite chronicling the origins of these cinematic heroes, the Conjuring universe shows no signs of slowing down. In fact, this fourth installment shattered records by earning $194 million at its global opening, outpacing even the 2017 smash hit It as the biggest horror movie debut ever. For newcomers to the genre, that's a huge deal. It means audiences worldwide are still craving those spine-tingling thrills, even if the story pulls from real-life inspirations like the Perron family case. And with more sequels potentially on the way, Last Rites doesn't lock away the haunted artifacts just yet. Film's Chris Evangelista nailed it in his review, describing the movie as a hectic and sweet finale that feels like a fitting close to the saga James Wan kicked off back in 2013. Think of it as the emotional peak of a roller coaster ride that started with ghostly whispers and escalated to demonic showdowns. What really seals the deal on that sense of closure? The heartwarming wedding between Judy Warren, portrayed by Mia Tomlinson, and her fiancé Tony, played by Ben Hardy. This joyous event doubles as a grand farewell bash for a who's who of Conjuring alumni, turning the screen into a nostalgic gathering that echoes the tear-jerking funeral in Avengers Endgame. Remember how the Marvel Universe united to honor Tony Stark, with Robert Downey Jr. as the centerpiece. Well, this Conjuring send-off mirrors that energy, but with a horror twist. Imagine possessed souls and exorcisms instead of superheroes. In a chat with Film's Jacob Hall, director Michael Chaves opened up about orchestrating this epic reunion, and his words paint a vivid picture of the chaos and charm behind the scenes. It was absolutely mind-blowing, Chaves shared, because I was meeting so many of these folks for the very first time. Coordinating it all was this enormous logistical challenge, especially since we were filming in England and had to fly people in from across the globe for essentially one day, or really just a single afternoon of shooting. It felt like a monumental task, and honestly, I'm relieved I didn't have to play babysitter for the entire crew. For beginners exploring horror filmmaking, it's worth noting that pulling off such a stunt often involves juggling international travel, tight schedules, and the sheer willpower to unite actors who might not have crossed paths before. Chaves likened the experience to attending a family reunion, and photos from the set capture that warm, communal vibe. Indeed, the wedding guests were predominantly drawn from the characters who've battled the Warrens in the prior 3 films. Take Cindy Perron, the young girl from the original The Conjuring, played by Mackenzie Foy, alongside her mother Caroline, masterfully acted by Lily Taylor, who was once tormented by a demonic presence. Then there's Peggy Hodgson, Frances O'Connor's character from The Conjuring 2, reunited with her daughter Janet, brought to life by Madison Wolfe, both grappling with the aftermath of possession. And don't forget David Glatzel from The Conjuring The Devil Made Me Do It, portrayed by Julian Hilliard, adding another layer of emotional depth. But the real showstopper? James Wan himself, the visionary director behind the franchise, whose cameo had me, and probably you, dear reader, doing that excited fanboy point like Rick Dalton spotting a celebrity in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Chaves, who joined the Conjuring fold with The Curse of La Llorona, a standalone tale that ties into the universe through its haunting fiends, had only worked with a few of these actors before, like Hilliard. For him, the shoot was an emotional roller coaster. It was incredibly special. It reminded me of crashing a family reunion after marrying into the clan. I didn't know everyone intimately, but the connection ran deep. It was truly wonderful. And this is the part most people miss. Chavez also helmed 2023's The Nun 2, yet the guest list stuck to those directly impacted by the Warrens' investigations. No notes to characters from The Nun or Annabelle spin-offs, unless you count Juan as the producer who's overseen every entry in the Conjuring cosmos. It's a deliberate choice that keeps the focus on the human elements, emphasizing the Warrens' legacy over the demonic sidekicks. But here's where it gets controversial. Imagine if the film had gone wild with the absurdity. Last Rites leans into over-the-top silliness, so why not a separate section for the demons? Picture Annabelle, the eerie doll, dabbing away tears while the crooked man, that twisted, spin-off-worthy villain, snags the wedding bouquet in a hilarious macabre twist. For those unfamiliar, Annabelle represents a cursed toy that's haunted multiple films, and the crooked man is a demonic entity with a backstory right for its own movie. Would this have elevated the chaos, or just diluted the emotional core? It's a playful idea that sparks debate. Does injecting more horror elements into a heartfelt reunion enhance the fun, or does it risk turning a touching tribute into a gimmicky mess? Some fans might argue it's the perfect way to blend laughs with scares, while others could say it undermines the series' grounded terror. The Conjuring Last Rites is now streaming on most pay-to-own digital platforms, so if you're hooked, grab your popcorn and join the conversation. What do you think? Does this cameo-packed finale truly wrap up the franchise? Or is there room for more tales from the haunted artifacts room? Do you side with the idea of demonic wedding crashes, or prefer the human-focused nostalgia? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear if you agree, disagree, or have your own wild theories about where the Conjuring universe goes next.